Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Nate Branco here, and I'm here to welcome you to another edition of Friday's version of Showcase Central. We got some stories that I'm going to unravel for you guys today. So grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and just mellow out, chill out, and just enjoy the show. Got some crazy stories that I got from this league around the diamond, and let's just say I can't say I'm shocked, but one of the stories that I'm going to tell you guys today, it shocked me, especially when I woke up this morning. I was just like, wow. I'm like, this is going to kill him. And then, of course, I got my DraftKings lock of the day, which I will tell you guys at night. Not at night. Well, it's for tonight, but I'm going to tell you guys after the show. First things first, I want to tell you guys about my Red Sox experience the other day on Wednesday. So let's just say the Red Sox had Portuguese Heritage Night. And let's just say that was awesome. So, as a kid from New Bedford, I saw freaking people from Fall River, New Bedford, and of course, Boston has Portuguese people. So, let's just say that freaking had at least 37,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. That had a lot of people. It was filling seats. And I was in the grandstands in section 25, I believe. And for the first few thousand fans, they gave us this thing. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And seeing this actually has me all prepped up for the World Cup. Go Portugal, baby. Start in the 11th, but we don't play until the 17th. All right. Now that I got that out of the way. Oh, and another thing. I did not see no tarps off in that game. I was disappointed, and I left in the 7th inning. I was very disappointed, but whatever. We're not cool, I guess. Okay, so speaking of the Red Sox, let's talk about them real quick. Yesterday, let's just say, was a disaster for one of their young pitchers. The Red Sox sent Brayan Bello to AAA, Worcester. Thursday afternoon against the Orioles, he allowed 8 runs with 6 alone in only the first inning. His ERA is now at a 6.34 and a record of 2-6 on the season. Reminder, back in March of 2024, he signed a 6-year, $55 million extension with the team. And let me just tell you this, guys. His contract is not looking good. It sucks. It's just a disaster. He's a disaster. These kids that they're signing, let's just say, let's drop it down a bit. So Christian Campbell, when they gave him a big extension last year, where is he? Still in Worcester. After one great month in April. They gave one to Anthony last year. Where is he? Injured. Meyer, they haven't given him one yet. I mean, shoot, he's still a work in progress, but you get the drill on that one. It's just these Sox young kids' contracts are just not looking too good right now. I don't know what it is, but whenever they start getting healthy again, and of course back up to a big league level, they need to step it up, man, because this is not looking good on the front office compared to what it already has been. I'll give you guys my thoughts on this one. So he's going to go through the system again for probably a good, 2 to 3 weeks? Or maybe he's down there for a while. I don't know. But if anything, Bello should not be a starter when he comes back. He should be a bullpen arm. Yes, I said it. He should be a bullpen arm. There are so many young, talented pitchers that are way better than him. I can give you two: Peyton Tolley and Connolly Early. Boom. They have much more upside, much more potential. Heck, I was at the game that Tolley pitched, and he pitched amazing. That was great masterpiece, and he allowed no runs that game. I see Tolley and Early actually on the team much more longer than Bello is actually going to be. I pitched this one time that Brayan Bello should actually be a trade piece. But if anything, after yesterday, I think he should just be DFA'd because he's just having a shit season. A few seasons ago, he was not having a good one. His best season it was probably last year. Where he went 11-9 and had an ERA of like 3.35 or something like that, 3.5. But he needs to go, man, because let's just be real. A rotation with Crochet, Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Peyton Tolley, and Connolly Early sounds so much better than any rotation with Brayan Bello in it. I know Brayan Bello, he was touted as the next little Pedro and so. Yeah, you people were wrong. Not at all. You guys were dead wrong. I don't want to hear that anymore. He needs to go, take the leash off. At this point, he's on a short leash. Just let it roll. Let him run away. So I actually, let's get back to that for a quick sec. What I was hoping would happen last year during the offseason was that when the Diamondbacks made Ketel Marte available, I actually wanted the Sox to give away Brayan Bello in a trade, give away him and some prospects, because the Diamondbacks at the time were actually looking for a young pitcher. Brandon Bello is 27 years old, and he actually would fit their rotation pretty well. So, and especially with what has happened with their Corbin Burns situation, I mean, why not have a younger pitcher? And so, yeah, they should have gave him and some prospects. But if anything, I don't think the Diamondbacks were looking for Brandon Bello. If anything, they might have been looking for Peyton Tolley. But we all know the Sox were not willing to do that. But, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. I don't know what the Sox are going to do with him. It's either bullpen arm or just straight up DFA'd. Speaking of DFA'd, let's talk about Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, man. Whew. That man went through a brutal winter. He was not signed by anybody for the longest time. He was released this past offseason by the Philadelphia Phillies, who are actually still paying him in his final year of his 5-year, $100 million deal that he got from Philadelphia in his when he was there. He signed with the Padres for a league minimum salary. He actually hit 191 in 39 games for the Friars. Honestly, I can't say this is a shocker because he really was a non-factor for them. He really was. Like, you literally have an outfield that's consisted of Jackson Merrill. You got Fernando Tatis Jr. And obviously he DH'd at times. But you could just, obviously that infield, there was nowhere for him to go. He was just a non-factor. He really didn't look like he fit well over there. If anything, there's definitely some teams out there that I think could use him. like whether it's like a bench bat or even like in the starting lineup as a DH. You know how the Phillies used him. The Phillies actually used him in as a DH. They did, or even like playing. I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't think he played the outfield. He didn't really play the outfield for the Phillies, but yeah, definitely a DH would be perfect for Castellanos. But hey, we'll see what teams are actually looking for him. But honestly, if there's one team that I think will actually, excuse me, one team that actually could inquire about him, I think that's the New York Yankees. Because honestly, I think they just hit rock. I'm not gonna say they hit rock bottom, but they did kind of just hit a big, big gap in their lineup right now, in which I will get to in a bit. Because the whole situation with Aaron Judge is not looking so hot right now. But hey, this ain't a huge loss for the Padres because honestly, they're playing some really good baseball. Their their team's still looking good. They're still competing with the Dodgers in the NL West. Honestly, this ain't a big loss. They will be okay. There you go, major league teams. Go for Nick Castellanos. He's free and out in the wild. Go right ahead. So I brought up the Yankees and Aaron Judge and how the Yankees could get Castellanos. And this is where I'll bring my big story in. Aaron Judge is out indefinitely. He is out for an extended period of time, and he's going to the IL with a right rib injury. It is actually similar to the injury he dealt with in September 2019, just before the playoffs, after diving for a ball. He eventually was diagnosed with a stress fracture in one of his right ribs and a partially collapsed lung. This was in 2019. The following spring training, but he actually did not miss any of the games. This was going into 2020, which we all know what happened that year, and the season did not really start until July because they only had a 60-game season. He should be gone for at least 4 to 6 weeks, but from the 4th week, he actually can resume, he can actually restart baseball activities. I'm going to be real here. This, of course, is their AL MVP. It's a huge loss. This is the face of the American League, one of the faces in baseball. Of course, it's going to hurt. Of course, it's going to hurt one of the greatest teams in franchise history, like the New York Yankees. They actually just called up Spencer Jones from AAA Wilkes-Barre, however you say that. Aaron Judge is one of the faces in baseball, and let's just say this could how could this affect the Yankees? This could affect them in big ways, or this could affect them in only a small way. So I'm gonna get to the big, and I'm gonna get to the little. So big because Aaron Judge, of course, a big fella, he could rock it in Yankee Stadium. He's not there. Who's gonna pull the weight? Luckily, he has some guys that are in that lineup. Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Ben Rice, who is looking like the AL MVP at the moment. I think this will affect them only in a small way because I don't think that the Yankees will struggle big time without him. They still have the pitching rotation that I think will still carry. And then, like I said, you still have the lineup that will, of course, carry the load. The small way I think that this would affect them is that you don't have his defense out there. You don't have his bat, of course. It's just gonna be a little bit of little bit of a minor struggle just to try to see how this would be on the field. And Judge is an everyday player. You want that guy out there all the time. He's the captain. So for Yankees fans, I know this is like a snake bit in the ass, but if anything, I think they'll be okay. They're only second in the AL East. I know they're biting with Tampa Bay for first place, and it's just like the only really bad thing about this is that Tampa Bay might actually get a really good lead on the division now, because Tampa Bay is actually playing some of their really best baseball right now, and it's just crazy. Tampa Bay was a team I did not expect to actually be really well this season. I had them in at least fourth. I had them at least fourth in the AL East, but they're proving me wrong, and they're proving other fans wrong, because I don't think anybody expected this Tampa Bay baseball to be playing really well. But let me just tell you guys, Yankee fans, as much as I can't stand you, and as much as you guys are big hecklers, I think you guys will be fine down the stretch. This will be a big loss, of course, but like I said, you have already a probably future AL MVP in Ben Rice, already actually carrying the lineup, and you have a pitching rotation that will, of course, get you guys out of situations. But I don't think this will be a big loss. This is not going to be much of a big loss for you guys. But I still think the Yankees will still play some solid baseball with Aaron Judge gone. Okay, so let's get to the DraftKings lock of the day, Nate's choice. Lately, I have not been doing that well. It's either been I haven't been hitting at all, none of the strides, or I have been close, no cigar. So let's try it for this one on a Friday. Let's get freaky on a Friday, guys. So here are my choices. The Braves over the Pirates, money line. I got Hunter Goodman, the Colorado Rockies catcher, for a home run. And then I have Michael Wacha, the starting pitcher of the Kansas City Royals, for 5 strikeouts. You guys could put that in your DraftKings lineups tonight if you want to. If not, I don't really care. But let me just tell you, hope you guys have a great Friday. Enjoy the weekend. It is very beautiful outside. I actually might go outside myself. I know my niece wants me to go downstairs and play some slime. I told her I would do this right after here. But have a great weekend, guys. Stay blessed and have a good one. I'll see you on Monday. Like and subscribe. Showcase Central.